Hello YouTube, welcome back to a new video, and before I continue with this video, I do want to give a spoiler warning as I'm going to mention some spoilers for chapter 29, and as of this video's recording and publishment, it would have been released yet, so I do encourage everybody watching this video to go ahead and read the manga for when it's officially released tomorrow. Getting back on track with the main theme of this video, I want to discuss Eida's ability, Omnipotence, but more specifically, why her ability does not seem to affect Sarada and Sumire. Before chapter 79, it was a popular idea / theory in the Boruto fandom that Eida's ability affected everybody who was not an Otsusuki, besides those who were in love with an Otsusuki. This seemingly explained why Sarada and Sumire did not fall in love with Eida, as the pair of them are in love with Boruto, who is now 100% Otsusuki, following Kawaki killing him in chapter 66, and Momoshika reviving him with the remaining 20% of his data within his karma seal. However, following the fact that chapter 79, we see Eida manifesting Kawaki's deepest desires, swapping the lives of Kawaki and Boruto, and from the way Momoshika explains what Omnipotence is and how it works, Eida managed to do this by altering everybody who was on Earth's memories by swapping the memories of Boruto with Kawaki and vice versa. But before I go into why Sarada and Sumire are not seemingly affected by this ability, I think it would be a good idea to explain who isn't affected, or who's more likely to be affected. It's probably a better way of putting it. So to begin, let's start with Kashin Koji. Following Kashin Koji's battle with Jigen, and Jigen believing that he was on the verge of death, he left him to, I guess, die, and he went on to do things later on that he did. But in reality, we know that Kashin Koji is actually in the frog realm. So he was on Earth when, it wasn't technically on Earth because the frog realm was in the spirit world, so he was on Earth when Eida carried out Omnipotence on the planet, so he shouldn't be affected by this, and yeah, so he will still believe Boruto is actually Boruto, Naruto's son, and that Kawaki is Kawaki, Naruto's adopted son, and not the other way around. Next up, of who I believe or shouldn't be affected by this is Code, and this is because Code and Bug, so I should actually add Bug into this, because Code and Bug are actually Ishiki's dimension, where Code is splitting off the tentacles into smaller organisms, of kind of like freezer looking like organisms, in order to exact his revenge on Konoha by launching an attack with these partitions of the tentacles. So yeah, so he's been there dividing the tentacles into thousands of smaller organisms for this whole time whilst everything's been going on. He was not actually on the planet, and Eida's Omnipotence was unleashed on the planet, so he wouldn't be affected alongside Bug. Bug shouldn't be affected as well because he's there alongside with Code. But Bug and Code are affected by Eida's quote-unquote love charm, but I'll get onto what that really is. So even though they know that Boruto is actually Boruto and Kawaki is Kawaki and not the other way around, they're still going to be affected by Eida. Supposedly also Kashin Koji will still be affected by Eida, and that's if they're in the same vicinity as her, but we'll see what happens with that later on. Next up, I believe that Amado, supposedly, or it might be surprisingly to some of you, is not affected because when everybody's looking at Boruto and in that panel, and everyone's just standing off at him, just staring at him with like disgust, he seems completely unfazed and chilling, watching everything unfold from the back. He's just there watching everybody. He's just chilling, not doing his own thing. Like, he doesn't seem to be affected by what Eida has done. And yeah, he's just if anything, it looks like he's looking at Sasuke, Konohamaru, Shikamaru and the rest of them. Like, he doesn't even seem to be looking at Boruto in this panel. So yeah, I think Amado's a crafty guy. I don't think he's affected by this, and I might put this out there, but I feel like Amado may have been either Shibai's partner, who for some reason he needed a new vessel or whatever. Maybe he died somehow. Or I may put this out there, but I feel like maybe Amado might be Shibai himself, but more specifically Shibai's physical link to the physical world as we know it, because as we know, Shibai just transcended to a different dimension, different plane. So I feel like possibly, because why does Amada know so much? Yes, if you're Shibai's partner, that would explain that, but I'm going to put the possibility out there. Just maybe, Amada could be Shibai himself, but more specifically, maybe an extension of Shibai's will, quote unquote, on the quote unquote physical world, which would explain a lot of his cloning, maybe his cloning techniques, because he should be omnipotent. A lot of his cloning techniques, his ability to reproduce Shibai's abilities, and all of that. But I think I'll save that. I'll save some detail for that for a future video, because that could be a completely whole video. Could be a whole video in itself. Next up, I'm 50-50 on this. I'm not sure at all. It can go either way. It depends where Kishimoto takes us, I suppose. But Sasuke could possibly be unaffected, and he might be playing along. But I'm not too sure about this. Maybe I should discuss this in a future video as well, because I don't want this video to be too long. So yeah, but we will find out in future chapters whether he is or not. And finally, as I believe this is a complete certainty, Sarada and Sumire are not affected by Eida's omnipotence. The reason Sarada and Sumire are not affected is because of Eida herself. This may confuse some of you, but let me explain. So to explain more specifically, based on how omnipotence works, from what Momoshiki was saying, it materializes one's deepest desires, and Eida's two greatest desires is 1, to be loved, and 2, to be able to have friends. And it's because of the latter that I believe that Sarada and Sumire are not affected. This is because Eida subconsciously wants Sarada and Sumire to be her friends, and because she's not able to control her power because she's not an Otsusuki, and as Momoshiki was stating, that you need to be an Otsusuki to be able to control this power and use it to its fullest extent. And as we know, Eida's a cyborg, she's not an Otsusuki. She might be subconsciously not using her ability of Sarada and Sumire, making them immune to Eida. Before I wrap up this video, I also want to point out that when Eida comes into contact with Kawaki and uses the omnipotence, we can see her shooting out an enormous amount of chakra into space. And in all honesty, she just messed everything up. And let me explain this. By accidentally granting Kawaki's deepest desires, she's ironically also brought about his deepest fears, which is the Otsusuki coming and attacking Earth, or more specifically, I should state, the Leaf Village. This is due to her not being an Otsusuki and being unable to control or use the power of omnipotence to its full extent. The chakra that she just released into space in the panel that I will show on the screen is going to alert other Otsusuki to Earth, as she's using a Shinjutsu, one of Shibai's divine abilities, so they would recognize this and know instantly that something important is going on. And on Earth, something important is going on Earth. And this could result in more Otsusuki coming to Earth, with a likely chance of being even stronger than the ones we've already been introduced to in the story. And they may come with their plans or objectives to retrieve either Shibai's body or and eat a chakra fruit from Earth. And with the arrival and deaths of many Otsusuki on this planet, including Kinshiki, Momoshiki, Kaguya, Ishiki, and the 2 other Otsusuki on the Moro that we haven't been identified with yet. And technically, if you count the anime too, Urashiki, what Eida has just done is bound to cause the arrival of more of them on the planet. And this is what Kawaki's deepest fears is, the Otsusuki coming and attacking Earth and hurting Lord 7th, Naruto. But Eida trying to do, subconsciously, because she did this on purpose, grant Kawaki's deepest desires. What she's done is brought about his deepest fears and threatened the whole planet as a whole. So yeah, Eida's messed up everything here by doing this. So to wrap up the video now, I would like to thank all of you guys who are watching. If you go into the end, please smash the like button, hit subscribe. I would appreciate that a lot. Share this video with anybody you think will be interested. Follow my Twitter @Funkage, spelled the exact same as my YouTube YouTube channel. I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.